Hey, you're listening to Stop the Scroll, a social media marketing podcast, and I'm your host, Heidi Schmidt. I'm a social media strategist and agency owner with over 15 years of marketing experiences helping businesses grow online. We'll be diving into what you need to know so that you can show up confidently online without the overwhelm. Get your notebook ready to jot down some amazing marketing gems, and let's dive into it. Welcome back to another episode of Stop the Scroll. I'm your host, Heidi Schmidt, social media strategist, agency owner, and, political candidate. I'm just going to shout that out there. This is, fun fact, right before I started this in my little audio recording, I ranted because this is the number 4 that I've tried to record this episode. I'm really glad my husband and my son are out tonight. They got tickets to the Ravens preseason game, and so they are out, but God dang it. It was such a good episode. And I was almost done. And then I look over at my recording screen and it's not recording. But anyhow, we're talking about local businesses today. We are talking all things small local businesses. Because we know with local businesses, and not everyone is a local business, there are some different intricacies to marketing a local business or a local nonprofit or whatever. So we're talking first a little bit about some of those social media strategies that can help you be a little more hyper-local. And then we're going to share some kind of offline, because offline matters just as much as online. I'm saying it now. So local social media, we know, is a little bit different because there are businesses, whether brick and mortar or even if you're service-based, but you help people that are local. Maybe you're like a mobile pet groomer. I don't know. But you help people that are local. You're looking for that geographic visibility. You're looking to get in front of specific people in a specific area. You're not just looking to go viral. And previously, when I tried to record this episode, I told the whole story about my client who went viral, episode linked in the show notes, and how it didn't really do anything. And this is why I say going viral isn't part of your strategy. I've talked extensively about that. We're not going to dip our toe into that conversation today. But local businesses, especially, you want that geographic visibility. Follower count doesn't matter because followers aren't always local. You want that word of mouth referrals. You want that community presence. You want to be getting tagged by your customers. You need to balance that in-person connection with that online outreach. So how do we make that work for us on social media? Well, I'm going to give you 10 tips. And then I'm going to give you a few tips that are offline. And how you kind of connect the two and all that kind of fun stuff. So, 1, tag your location, always. You can tag every post on Instagram. If there are 2 things that you should be doing on Instagram, even with static posts, is 1, you should be adding music, because music makes it more searchable. Adam Mosseri has said it himself. And 2, tag your location. And I say that because there are people, on Instagram, you can search by things near me. Especially now, they just added location tag. And let me tell you, I'm not going to tell this story. If you know me, you know the mild, icky experience that I had recently. And as soon as I got home from that super icky experience, I immediately went home. I locked my private profiles, not my business and not my political account. And I made sure that on every single social media account, you could not see my location. That is the worst thing that Instagram has ever done. I will say it here. I will say it loud. It is terrible. I don't like it. Why do I need to see people's location? I can share my Google location with my family if I want to, and oftentimes I don't. Oftentimes I do, but when I used to commute, funny little story about me. Back when I used to commute for work, my husband would always turn on his location with me. And, I could see when he left the office, and his commute was often better than mine. Mine was garbage coming from Columbia, Maryland to Pasadena. And if he left the office before me, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm leaving here soon. I don't know. I'll check traffic, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd stop at Target on the way home. But I would not share my location with him because I didn't want him to see that I was stopping at Target. Oftentimes, I would often tell him, he'd be like, oh, where are you? Oh, I got stuck at the office, but I wanted to stop at Target because I had to get, whatever for our son and, 10 million other things. But now I don't really shop at Target as much because, the whole DEI thing, and I kind of think they're a terrible company these days, but I can't quit you, Target. I can't. But instead of going once a week, I literally maybe go once a month these days. So I have scaled back on the target and they're feeling it. I digress. There's sidebar number 1. Anyhow, if you don't want people to know where you are, because it's not just like your physical location in this new Instagram setting that you can share your location, it's like where you physically are. So people, like your followers, can see like, oh, this person, if I was at an Orioles game, like, oh, this person's at Camden Yards. Or the other night I was hanging out with some colleagues of mine and we were, chatting and getting to know each other at a local brew pub. And, like people could have seen me there. And the whole Instagram location thing, not so much. But do tag your physical store office location in your posts. You can do it on Instagram, you can do it on Facebook, and if you're on TikTok, you can even do it on the Clock app. There are many people who say that hashtags are dead. I promise you, they are not dead. I still use, especially hyperlocal hashtags. I have a client who, they are a local food establishment, and I often tag hashtag Annapolis because they are local. Sometimes for me, if I want to promote things that are like events or whatever, I hashtag Pasadena MD because that's where I am. So you can use local hashtags. And I still think that hashtags like that are kind of SEO friendly. And I know everyone says, oh, people don't search with hashtags anymore and they're not searchable. Well, lies. I don't know. I still have clients that we post hashtags to, and when I've tried not, like, posts just don't get as much engagement. They don't get as much reach. Like, it's just, I don't care what Adam Mosseri says. He lies. I'm kidding. He doesn't lie. But I still think that hashtags matter. I don't know. Get the user-generated content. The same client that I was just referring to, they get at least 2 to 3 customers who tag them in their Instagram stories every day. That is the easiest Instagram content ever to share. Easiest. Like, you need to be getting that user-generated content. You can repost reviews, although I don't really love reposting like Google reviews. I have a client that we sometimes do it for because she's a lawyer, and sometimes we post reviews, and it's a big trust builder, like they are. But I just think that there's more compelling ways sometimes. So if you get reviews, definitely share them. And especially on your Google business page, holy crap, like you should be thanking every person that reviews. Like I have a client, they have 1,100 reviews and they respond to literally every single Google review. That matters when it comes to local SEO. So do it. Yes. Build partnerships. Like if you're a local business, you should have some local partnerships. Build that brand goodwill among your neighbors. Like I did a post for my one client down in Annapolis, and their neighbor was in having a meeting and they were friendly. And, we asked the guy like, hey, can we do a picture with you? And he held a cup of coffee and my client held an ice cream and they toasted and it was fantastic. And like for a static post on Instagram, that one performed so well. I wish every static post performed that well. Everyone. So tag your neighbors, like especially if you see them like out and about at events. I just think that it's goodwill. Create and promote local events. We know that in real life events are content gold for video, for all of the things, literally all of the things, for video, for photos, for tagging, like everything. And it also just builds that goodwill with your community, right? Which is my next point, like highlight local culture and news. Share the local culture. Like I call it a little bit of newsjacking, like do some newsjacking. And, like if you are here in Maryland, sports ball is a big thing. Sports ball is picking back up. Football, Navy football, Maryland football, Ravens football, like all of these things. And there are some brands locally that do it so well, man. Like Lito's Pizza, they do it super well. Share those local sports ball wins and share like back to school content. Like how are you giving back to your community? Like are there nonprofits that you partner with? Are there local holidays? My hometown in Vermont, like Bennington Battle Day is a BFD, and I'm so sad that I'm not going to be there this year. Bennington Battle Day 5K is like one of my favorite races, but we just couldn't swing a trip to Vermont. There's too much going on. And I'm really sad because Vermont summers are the best. They're the best. But also, there's other reasons why we're not going up there. Anyhow, not to be a Debbie Downer, but, participate in the things that make you feel rooted in your area, that make you a part of your community, and highlight them on social media. And tag the people that are a part of it also. Why not? Next up, number 7, optimize your profiles. If you need a profile audit, I have a link in the show notes. Grab a profile audit where I look through your profiles, I give you recommendations, all the fun things. Might take me a couple days. I'm really trying not to be so far behind on everything, but I'm literally so far behind on everything right now. Or at least it feels that way. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But if your city and state are not added to your bio, add them 5 minutes ago. Make sure that there are clear hours, when are you open? Make sure people know how to get in touch with you. And that's the whole thing. Whether you're local or not, people need to know how to work with you. Have a call to action. What's the call to action? Book now. Come see us. I don't know. Make sure your stuff has a call to action. If you really want to grow locally, $5 or $10 a day can go really far with your Facebook ads where you can hyper-target all of the things. All of the things. You can run them within 5 to 10 miles of your location. You can even target your audience. If you have a boutique and women are your audience, you can target them within 5 to 10 miles, and $5 to $10 a day can go really, really far. Highly recommend. So geo-target those paid ads, and you can do that both on Google and on Facebook. I don't do Google ads, but I got a Google ads guy that I am happy to refer people to because Google ads are a whole other beast, and I don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Next up, if you are local and you do have a brick and mortar, post that behind the scenes content, post your storefront. My dear friend who has a boutique here in Pasadena, she does this so well. She's always sharing beautiful photos of her items, of her storefront, all of the things that just make you want to go in and shop. And I love. There's another boutique in Annapolis, and I know the person who makes her content. And her content is just chef's kiss. Her reels are beautiful. And it makes you want to go visit in person, right? Your goal as a local business is to get people in the damn door. So post the content that's going to make them want to come visit. So yeah, that's that. Next, and I cannot underestimate this one or overestimate. Is it over or underestimate this one? I cannot emphasize, there's the word. I cannot emphasize this one enough, that you need to spend time engaging with other local accounts. Engaging with local accounts, both on Instagram and on Facebook, mind you, is going to build that visibility and that connection. If you have a shop that's 10 seconds down from you and you are not tagging them or whatever, what are you even doing? Be friends with your neighbors. I mean, my neighbors are fine. They're fine. I will say we live in we are little blue dots in a dark red sea here on our little peninsula here in Pasadena. But my neighbors truly are lovely people, politics aside. But engage with those local businesses, especially ones that can be referrals to you. If you're a med spa, have a salon that refers to you. If you are a nail salon, is there a cafe? Whatever it is, find those local businesses that are going to be good referral sources for you, because that's going to build visibility and connection both on and offline. Let's talk about some offline marketing best practices, because, I was going to make this whole separate episode and I don't know if I should. Well, we're talking about it. We're going to plow through these. And some of them are, very similar to what I would tell you to do online. Community events, are there local festivals? I just saw the other day that there's an Oktoberfest coming up in West Annapolis, which made me think of my client who has a location there. And they always get really busy whenever West Annapolis does street festivals and all that kind of fun stuff. And make sure that you have, branded signage, business cards, all that kind of fun stuff. And, it's funny because I'm actually thinking about that for my campaign, which, campaigning, I don't care what you believe for politics. We're not talking politics. I'm talking about marketing myself as a political candidate. And it is not so different than marketing a business, honestly. Like right now I am in like I got to get my name out everywhere. People need to know who I am. So in the process of creating branded print materials like business cards or like a palm card. And I have those for my businesses also, business. I only have one that I leave at like the Collective. I have a one-sheeter and I have some business cards there. So like, especially in high traffic spots like that, like I have a friend of mine who leaves her stuff for her yoga pro and her retreats at coffee shops, and another friend who does events and she leaves them at doctor's offices and like the public library. Like, where can you put your business materials that are going to get eyeballs on them? Make sure that you include a QR code on those that links to your website or your social media, like follow us on Instagram, whatever you want to do, and drop them off at your partner businesses. Back when I did marketing for a PT practice, like that was a big thing. Like we had little like referral pads that we would bring into doctors' offices. Whew. But you wanted to have that thing that's going to, those referral sources. And network intentionally. Networking is hard for me. I'm not going to lie. And maybe it isn't, but I'm really bad at the follow-up. That's my bad follow-up. That's my, I guess, Achilles heel. But I do love going to chamber events I love being on the board of the PBA, the Pasadena Business Association. I just love connecting with other business owners. And when there's a lot of people, I get really overwhelmed sometimes. That's just me. Little introverted me, which people are like, why are you running for political office? Well, because why not? But, you want to focus on really building those relationships. Like, don't be a sales pitch, be a resource. That's what one of my business coaches always says. Don't be a sales pitch, be a resource. And occasionally here on the podcast, I do just like blatantly like sign up for this, which probably isn't a good idea, but whatever. Build those strategic local partnerships. We kind of already talked about those. You can do those both online and offline. I actually don't like this one. Thank you, Margot, my ChatGPT assistant, for kind of helping me list out some suggestions, but some of them are garbage. We're gonna take that one. See, there's not gonna be 10 tips here, which is fine. But earned media, like how do you share your story, share an event, get yourself put into local media? Like around these parts, there's Naptown Scoop, which is a big old newsletter. There's Eye on Annapolis. There's the Baltimore Banner. Like, how are you building relationships to get yourself a little bit of earned media? Because earned media still matters. People still read the news. At least me and my husband do. We have probably like a dozen news subscriptions. Good grief. Margot suggested direct mail, saying that it still works. I don't know. I tend to throw that stuff away. I guess it depends on what type of business you are. If you still do direct mail, I'm curious if it works, especially if you're a service-based or a location-based business and you target specific zip codes. I'm kind of curious. I do think that running workshops and in-store events, which we also talked about as an online networking opportunity, but also offline, it just brings people in. Like, make it fun. Like, it's great for that relationship building, give some incentive. I don't know. Like, I really enjoy actually doing my workshops. So, highly recommend. Finally, like, make sure that you're asking for those Google and Yelp reviews. Although I hate Yelp. I'm not going to lie. Like, Yelp is not my favorite. It's not my favorite. It's very pay to play. Like, I'm not going to tell you not to use Yelp, but I would prioritize Google over Yelp for any local business. Just saying. And you can pair with the QR codes that people will leave one, have a email after they work with you that goes out to leave a review, all that kind of fun stuff. Like, reviews help your online visibility so much, especially in terms of local SEO. Yeah. So how do we measure these metrics? Like, how do we measure what's working, what's not working? One, like, check your post reach. One, is your post reaching people? And fun fact, in Business Manager, you can actually find the location of your audience, which I had a client that I was working with a few years ago, and she literally was like, all of my audience is not from around here. Like, how do I get my audience local again? We shifted some things. We started doing the location tagging. We did some local ads, and we got her audience to literally be local again. It was perfection. So, like, one, you want to make sure that your audience is in the right locations, and you can check that in your analytics. Are you getting good engagement? Like, are people interacting with your content? Are they clicking your links if you're on Facebook? Are they sharing your posts? Like, check your engagement, because that's going to show that people are actually engaged with your brand. Like, are you getting user-generated content? Like, think about how you measure that kind of stuff, which is really the same as how you would measure any other social media metric. But, make sure that it's the right audience. Your Instagram insights, your Facebook page analytics, if you use a tool like Link in Bio or Linktree, those give you pretty good analytics. And finally, check your conversions. If people are walking in the door. If people are booking. If people are signing up. If people are visiting. So check your conversion rate. And if you don't know how to check it, I'd be happy to help you, because knowing your conversion rate is so, so important. And we can talk about, ways to optimize for conversion, especially your online profiles. Again, profile audits are available, linked in the show notes. And finally, I encourage you, especially if you're not ready to pay for an audit, but it's not a high cost thing. Check your last 5 posts. Are they local focused? They have location tags? Are you using local hashtags? How are you promoting yourself to that local audience? Finally, if you're interested, strategy sessions, I am booking for August. We have a couple of sessions available coming up in September. It's not live yet, but save the date for end of September. We're going to be doing a Q4 planning workshop, which is going to lead into my next masterclass, which will start sometime in early October. And I'm working on a fun little product that I may start including in my strategy sessions. And it's going to be really cool. I'm going to test it out on my current masterclass students and see if they like it. I got to build it, but a little custom GPT action for your marketing strategy, which is kind of fun. Anyhow, if you found this helpful, be sure to connect with me on Instagram at Heidi Schmidt Creative. Share with a fellow local business owner, because sharing is caring. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen and leave a review. Reviews help me get in front of other people. So as always, go forth, create amazing content that promotes your business and stops the scroll.